Hello everyone and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 82. Today is Sunday, March 29th, 2015, and I'm really glad you could join me. It is a beauteous day outside. It is totally Michigan summer right now, and I'm not complaining. Eventually we'll hit Texas summer, but for right now, I'll take Michigan summer. So it's like not a cloud in the sky, 80 degrees. Had to record outside. And I have quite the pile of stuff to show you. I didn't think that I would have a lot to talk about this week because I didn't have as much knitting time. But I suppose I did end up spending a lot of time spinning this week, so. I have some good coffee right now, but you can only get it at Sprouts. So, send me a message in the episode thread if you want to know what I got if you have a Sprouts accessible to you. So I will talk about the knitting first. So, sweater in various stages of doneness here. So both fronts and the back, but I think that was where I stood last week. I think I started a sleeve for you guys last week, and if you can tell how much less knitting time I had this week, there we go. I believe I'm to 8 inches now, so that means that I will launch into the stockinette portion and get out of the ribbing for now. I'm slowly but surely increasing. I'm going to make the size small sleeve because based on my gauge, like it'll be, I don't know, probably an inch of positive ease with the small side, and I don't really want to have big sleeves if I don't need to have big sleeves. So that is the story there. So it's coming along, but obviously it's not a sweater front in a week. Or 1.5 sweater fronts in a week. I finally broke into the second ball. I am only going to use 2 balls for this stupid sweater. Which is sort of crazy. Like, what is it? I think the first ball got me this far on the sleeve, and then all of this. Like, it was a little bit ridiculous. So I'm glad I have 3 balls, but I'm gonna have extra for sure, which is good because that means I might be able to do a bigger sweater because this is a short sweater. I might be able to do a bigger sweater with the extra ball by adding it to my other stuff. So it is the Gray Cardigan by Sally Melville. It is from the book Mother Daughter Knits. I'm knitting it on US 5s, and I'm just using my fixed Xiaogu circular, which is way too long, but whatever. It just means I finish a row before I stuff it in my bag. So that is knitting thing number 1. Carefully. All this stuff is in my bag, and it is apparently stuck in my bag. So knitting thing number 2 is, what is it? Knitting thing number 2 is the Union Jack Argyle socks. It looks like I tried to contain this and then I stopped short or something. I'm almost done with the pattern repeat now. So you can sort of get the gist of it now. I'm knitting it out of Dora and a red merino wool from Fiber Webs, which is an Australian wool company. And so then that is how it is working up so far. So big diagonal lines and strong vertical elements, very geometric and all that other fun stuff. So this is coming along nicely. I'm knitting it on 0s, and it seems like that was the appropriate choice. It has plenty of stretch. I'm knitting it inside out, which is why I had to pull it the other way. So this is from Think Outside the Socks, because apparently I'm on a book jag. And these are going to be for the dearly lovable one because he appreciates socks. I think he was expecting a different pair of socks or something, but this is kidding. I'm doing this also as a part of the CAL going on in the sock knitters group. So our current knit along is it's a pick one of three. So you can knit socks from scraps, and these are leftovers from other man socks I've made in the past. You can knit from your queue, or you knit something from your like deep stash. So I count for scraps. I don't know whether or not the Union Jack socks are really in my queue, but I did want to knit more than just one pair of socks out of the Think Outside the Socks book, so I think it'll be okay. It's a very laid-back CAL. It would be pretty hard to not qualify for it. And it's sock knitters, so it's not like we're really big on rules unless they're prizes. So the 3 is something that's been sort of stewing in my knitting room, and I finally came across something that would work. So I recognize that life would be happier if I had a bag for my yoga mat. So I try to do yoga at least once a week, and so I'm making a yoga mat bag. So see. And this is approximately the size of the bag. And I decided to make it out of the hand spun I made in January. So this is from my pound. This is 9 ounces of the pound, FYI, of the combo spin I made earlier in January with the mystery fiber from the Woolery and some wool that I ended up getting from one of my friends from Wool My Sled All Seasons. So it is very marled and sort of crazy, but you can see the pattern sort of coming into place. So the pattern, I was just flipping through Barbara Walker's Stitch Dictionary last night and finally came across a pattern which I thought would look nice with the yarn, which is basically a, what would you say? It's called the Gatepost Rib, I believe, and it is a rib and welter sort of pattern, so I'm not sure. You can see the rib and welterness of it. Obviously, since it is a marled yarn, it is eating up pattern like nobody's business. I wanted to do a brioche sort of thing with it because I have this strange desire to brioche. Don't know why. But this wasn't the right project for it. So, and actually, funnily enough, there isn't actually a lot out there about doing brioche in the round, so I might just need to pick up a book or something. I'm not sure. So it's coming along nicely. The beginning of it, so I'm like 5 pattern repeats in at this point, and I'll have to pull out my yoga mat at some point and figure out how long I want it to be. And then I'll whack on an I-cord, or maybe it might need to be thicker than I-cord, I'm not sure, an I-cord strap on it, and then I'll be able to strap on my yoga bag as opposed to awkwardly carrying it, because it seems to be an easier way to travel. And there's no point in me buying a yoga mat bag when I could just make a yoga mat bag, because this isn't, what is it? I wouldn't call this like close to neck sort of soft. And I don't really need a bigger garment out of this. It was more just trying to understand, like I spun this is the first stuff I spun on my wheel, so I was trying to get used to my wheel and make sure I could spin thicker yarn and all that other fun stuff. So it is coming along. I did manage to wind all 9 ounces on my Knit Picks ball winder, which was a little bit hairy towards the end, but worked. And this is all, like, it's flying by. Like, this is how much I've knit since yesterday afternoon, so it's coming along. I needed, like, a good movie knitting project, and the sweater and the socks weren't, strictly speaking, good movie knitting, or they needed slightly more light. I don't know, but this needed a decent amount of light, too, so I don't even know. We still had the light on when we were watching a movie last night. Okay, so that is everything for the knitting. But I think I've been trying to figure out what appropriate pack or what in the world to do for that stupid yoga mat bag for a couple of weeks now. So I've cast on and started to knit a bit and then gone back and forth so many times on it. So I'm glad I finally found something that actually went with that. And I probably need to make a Ravelry project page at this point. And so I have, what is it? I have a ton of that wool, whatever, the 3-ply. So it will be as big as it needs to be. And of course, what it needs to be is up to date. So that is everything in my bag. My bag is covered. So moving on to spinning. I do have a finished object. Well, I needed to finish this by Tuesday anyway, so I managed to finish it this weekend. So this is my my completely twisted and arbitrary Hello Yarn spin-along fiber, and it is still a little bit damp. I was hoping leaving it outside for a little while would help speed it because it's very blustery today. But this is the lengthy fiber strews. It is out of Rambouillet. And I did this as a 1/2 to 1/8 fractal ply. Or sorry, I spun it fractally. I ended up running out of, I probably had maybe 28 yards of the the smaller fractal. But since I spun it all as one long thing, it was no big deal. I also have a knot in here. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have known that it was going to have to be plied on my jumbo flyer or what, because I crammed all 4 ounces onto a bobbin, but I couldn't cram all 4 ounces again when I was plying it since it becomes so much more poofy. But there you go. So lots of tremendous barber pulling action. It is very likely a lace weight. It is 715 yards, which I believe is my most yardage to date, I think. At the very least, it's my nicest most yardage to date. I might have gone more yardage out of, what is it, some Romney I spun, but that was way too over-twisted and a hot mess. So this is quite lovely. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I definitely like the spots where the colors went onto themselves, but it was way too late, or that train left the station a long time ago. So it is yellows and greens and browns and 2 different shades of blue. And everything really goes very well together. It's a very earthy sort of skein. So I did finish this in time for the end of the spin along, which is lovely. And I still need to post the photo in the FO thread, but I was pretty happy that I managed to finish it off in time. And it is quite soft and quite low. I guess Rambouillet is, whatever, also known as like French merino. So it's a nice, soft, short staple, what am I trying to say? Fiber. So definitely next to skin soft. Definitely, probably, I would say, destined to be a shawl of some sort, because it's going to be very stripy when it gets knit up. So that is the story there. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm still not to the point where I'm like, squee! I think I like other dyers better, but I was, whatever, very satisfied with the quality of the product. So there we go. So once that got off the wheel, I decided to put something new on the wheel. Well, somewhat new. I am making another skein of the chocolate Shetland fleece. So I am now 2 rologs in. I decided to finish up spinning a rolog. Stupid hay. So this is 2 Rologs in to the chocolate Shetland fleece. This is skein number 8. I am spinning it on my wheels. Bobbin wheel. Makes sense. And it is going along pretty nicely. It's fairly addictive to what is it? To spin the Rologs, because it's just whatever, one after another, which is nice. So how many Rologs do I have left? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 13 total Rologs in this 2-ounce thing, and I have 11 left to go. I'm also carding as well, because I need to keep replenishing the stock of Rologs. So I think the plan is to card up 6 more bags, and what I did was I actually took all of the fiber this morning and sort of laid it out in my knitting room, and I graded it by quality. And so what I need to do is to bring my scale with me and try to figure out how much of the crap I really need to include. Because I have one, like I've sort of graded it by like 6-inch staple, 3-inch staple, and then 1-inch or less staple. And the fewer 1-inch or less staples that I put in, I think the nicer it's going to go. But if I do have to incorporate it, then, because I do, what is it? So I need to spin 8 bags. I have done 1 of the 8 so far for the pound-a-thon. What is it? So I've done 1 so far for the pound-a-thon. I've started into the second. When I'm finished with that, I'll be 1/4 of the way. And then, so what does that mean? So I have 8 ounces total carded. I need to have more carded. And I'd like to make sure that it isn't the case where I get like lots of crap at the end and the other stuff is fine. So whatever, I'm trying to be strategic about how I'm doing it, so I'm probably going to be doing a lot of weighing and stuff like that to figure out what I can afford to exclude. Because I don't think the person who shared the sheet really was doing it for spinning purposes, so. The 1-inch or less is probably should be seconds, but whatever. Trying to get the sweater spin taken care of. So what else is hanging out? I have more finished of the camel silk. I was thinking, because I haven't updated my Ravelry project page for this in a little while, because I probably should do that at some point. But the cop is growing. What I did Friday when I was spinning this, because I seem to mostly spin this at knit night, was just pull a tuft, whatever, like a chunk out of my braid, and then spin, spin, spin until that's done. So this is coming along. This is supposed to be a part of the Something Special Cal, which ends Tuesday. Obviously enough, I am not going to be done with this in time because I still have most of, whatever, I still have quite a lot to spin on this still, unfortunately, but it's fine. I'm just taking off this long bit. So this is Camel Silk from Your Daily Fiber. And it is a little bit annoying to spin. So I make sure to bring with me to knit night to get a little bit done every week, and the slow but steady will get me to the end. Because this is a part of my spin the bin, along with the chocolate Shetland fleece, so it's going to get done. It's going to be lovely when it is done. I don't know how long it's going to end up taking me to spin this, but slow and steady, and it will go. So, that is a story there. Some more coffee is necessary. So I did have some mail come in yesterday, but I forgot to check the mail, so the dear sweet lovable one brought it up for me. Whoopsies. So I ended up getting my Into the World. So this is a part of the mega sale. And I ended up also getting an additional braid because I thought it was very pretty and very me. So this was a little sample that came with it. So this is Aurora Borealis, and this is the 50-25-25 merino bamboo silk. And it just had, like, their packaging is so cute. I don't know if it's necessarily, what is it? I probably should Ziploc bag it anyways, but it is so cute. So there's a little sample and a fiber card. Is it a pair of fiber cards? Ah, just one. So, so this was just very pretty, very cool colors. Definitely evokes the Aurora Borealis. So it might be fun to, whatever, spin this up on the spindle just for a cute little skein. It's definitely very mini. I think it can't be more than half an ounce of fiber. Oh, I have my little tag for my Hello yarn, which I should use on it. So, very cute packaging. So that was the surprise sample. I'm guessing that they normally just send samples with their stuff, because I think I've seen it on other podcasts. This is my first time trying Into the World. It looks like it'll be quite lovely. So the other thing I got was also in the same blend. So this is the Prance, which is also in the 50-25-25. And you can tell the bamboo because it doesn't really take the dye in the same way. So it is greens and reds and purples and sort of like a lime green and a forest green, like two different shades of purpley blue. So just like totally Molly colors. Jewel tones, that's for sure. And so it's somewhere between 4 ounces to 4.3 ounces, and I haven't tried anything, or haven't tried spinning anything with bamboo before, so I figured that would be a good thing. So, and apparently this was a club colorway from July of 2014. So, that is a story there. And then the final thing I got, which was the reason that I even ordered from Into the World, was the Discworld Mega Sal colorway. So I ended up picking up Death, because that is probably my favorite character in the Discworld books, and these colors were totally me. So I will actually pull this one out of the bag, and then find some way to keep the bag from blowing away, since it is pretty blustery today. So, and just try whatever playing. So that I ended up getting the Superwash Merino. We'll see, do the colors line up like that? Yep. Well, somewhat. I guess there. All sorts of prettiness. So, we've got the teals, the purples, the blacks, and then some undyed portions, which I think will be very, very pretty. So actually this is really very similar, except for the blacks, with the fiber I just bought from, what was it? Alicia Goes Around, so I might like it. And I'm wearing purple and green today, so might be a fan. So this is my first time trying Into the World, and I will be getting started on this at some point. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to spin this guy at this point. Since it is super much merino, I might try for a sock yarn. And since I did get, what was it? So, if I spin it very similar to what I did the singles for this with, I'm pretty sure I can get a 3-ply sock yarn with a similar thing of singles. Let me think on that for a little bit. I think I can do that. So what was that? I'm just gonna grab my phone because I want to rotate it. I want to know. Alright, so it is 715 times 2 that I ended up getting 1,430 yards of singles, and then if I divide that by 3, I would get 476 yards. So it would be a light fingering if I spun it similar to that. So I am really glad that I managed to hit whatever that sort of weight on the wheel, because honestly, spinning sock yarn is fun. And hand knit socks are more fun and special. So I'm just really happy with this fiber. And we shall see. Because I would, what is it? Nest is pretty hard to get a hold of, and I really do enjoy Nest quite a lot. Nest was also a spinner for the, Nest was also one of the dyers, for the Mega Sal. And I really liked the maiden colorway she came up with. However, I wasn't able to snag it in an update, but she'll be doing another update. I'm not sure if Into the World will be doing another update. So if you guys wanted to get in on the Mega Sal. But other than that, all I needed in order to really participate in the Mega Sal was one 4-ounce thing, and that is what I got. So, so I am a participant, but not like totally, horribly, terribly a glutton. So, that is the story there. So I have talked about all of the things, and it's only been 27 minutes. Well, I guess nearly 28. So what is coming up? So you guys are at the finish line for the Something Special Cal, and I will show the prizes once again. So the prize, is a hat and cowl set that I had made. So going from, hand spun, hand knit by me. So the honey hat and the honey cowl. So I will put the hat in hat configuration and the cowl. So this is the prize for the cowl. So it is almost to the end. So I will give you guys until midnight on April 1st to post pictures in the Cal thread of your finished objects. So whatever, a little bit of time to get around to uploading and that sort of thing. If it isn't washed and blocked, no big deal. Just show the finished object. Then we can go from there. So I hope you guys think this stuff is cool. I don't really have use for hat and cowl set in Texas, so I figured I could share the love. So yeah, so post whatever, and I'll put a reminder in the thread as well today about the deadline and stuff like that. So by midnight on April 1st, post your pictures. And I won't do anything like lock the thread, I'll just look at the timestamp, and we can go from there. Other things going on, so in terms of what sort of things I'm doing right now, I have the Sock Knitters Cal with the Argyle socks. I have the Pound-a-thon in Complete Twisted Arbitrary. I have the Spin the Bin in Completely Twisted and Arbitrary with the chocolate shetland fleece and the camel silk. And the Pound-a-thon is with just the chocolate shetland fleece. And then I have the Mega Sale. So the Mega Sale starts the April 1st, so Wednesday. And I should mention Midnight Wednesday for the Something Special cow. I just finished up the Hello Yarn quarterly sale. The next dyer for CTA is Julie Spins, which is another one I haven't tried before, but so many dyers, so little time. I did vote on the pictures, which might obligate me to buy something, but whatever. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And is there anything else I'm pretty? I was thinking of joining in on Karen's redemption cow. So my redemption project would be the Elphaba sweater. Elphaba. Just funny that I'm actually wearing my Elphaba t-shirt today. The short answer is that I needed to alternate skeins, and I didn't. And then I tried to fix it once for, what was it? I tried to fix it for the, why am I blanking? For Stash Dash. And I totally, hopelessly failed. It was so full of fail that words could not properly describe the fail. So, what this means is I would have to start from the beginning, and everything's already ripped out. I might have even soaked the yarn, I don't even know. But since she is like motoring along on that stupid sweater, there probably isn't actually that much time. If I knew it was going to be the end of June, it might be a little bit easier. So I'm thinking about doing that, but obviously I would need to finish the sweater I'm working on before starting that. But I think that is the one project that has been most full of fail for me. So the yarn's ready. I really do want the sweater. I think the sweater would look really great. But I do actually need to knit it in order for that to qualify. So, and it would be something where maybe I would end up knitting away on it and making it count for, what is it, for Stash Dash or something like that. I'm not sure. But I have been sort of in a sweatery mood, which I'm not sure why exactly, because summer is coming. I actually brought up all of the sweaters that I've worn this season into my whatever. So the knitting room has its own whatever bathroom, whatever, a Jack and Jill style. So the Deersfield level and I share the tub, and but we have separate sinks. So everything is upstairs, ready to go for what is it? For washing all those sweaters, because it's good practice that when you know you're not going to wear the sweaters for a little while, just to give them, to make sure they're clean, because moths like dirty wool much more than clean wool, so you got to keep the wool clean. And then I can put those away for the summer, and then whatever, bring out the lighter weight ones for when it's necessary. What is it? So what are some sweaters I'd like to knit? So Elphaba's on the list. Snowbird is on the list. That was something that one of my friends in my knitting group did, and that was really adorable on her, and we have like the same shaped body. And then Heat of Feud, but I think I'm going to spin for that if possible. And I would also, is there something else I wanted to knit as well? I don't know. Anything lace weight would be awesome, honestly. Because those are sweaters I can wear year round, which is why they're awesome. because we will soon be in air conditioning season. We're not yet in air conditioning season, but it's coming. So having the right sort of thing for that would be good. And I'm loving the Viajante. Some of the guys at work make a little bit of fun of me wearing it just because it is sort of epic. But I don't care because I am appropriate, whatever. It's cute. And maybe the case where you have to have a little bit of an attitude in order to wear it. And I can do that. So with that, I think that's everything. I should be able to record next week. And I'm going to have to look at the calendar for the date. Because we are passing into April. And it might actually be up. We shall consult with the calendar. It's looking promising. Come on, April! Alright, so I should be able to record April 5th, which is Easter. And I look forward to talking to you then. So I'll be announcing the winner of the Something Special cow then. That should be a lot of fun. So you guys have a great week. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.